this segment of the program is all about high intensity 30-second intervals. We'll pick up 2 exercises and train 3 lots of 30 seconds, alternating between exercises for a total of 3 minutes per set. Let's get straight into it. Alright guys, let's start marching on the spot for this exercise. Now you can see I'm lifting my knees fairly high. I'm using my arms to assist as far as the momentum is concerned. And then what we're going to do after that is we're going to switch it up and get into some jumping jacks. So jumping in and out and just making sure you're staying fairly light on your feet for this one. Your turn to try it. Starting this exercise with some gentle burpees. So you can see, rather than jumping, I'm stepping, and then when I get to the top, I'm avoiding the jump as well. So it's just a matter of working your way down, getting into that push-up, and then stepping and working your way back up into that standing position. I'm going to complement this exercise by getting into some high-paced squats. So your feet are parallel at shoulder width, and your knees are right on top of it, and just getting nice and low into those squats at a good pace. Your turn to try it. For this set, we're going to combine some gate swings with rollovers. So what we're going to do first is we're going to get straight into those gate swings by jumping wide into a squat and then jumping back up with your feet together. And then after 30 seconds, when we change it up, we're going to lift our hands right up, arms nice and straight for support, and we're going to work some half rollovers. Make sure your toes are pointy and your knees are nice and extended, so you're really engaging the hips and the lower abs as you throw these up, and work through them for 30 seconds before we change back. Your turn to try this one. For this exercise, we're going to combine running with high knees on the spot with push-ups. So what we want to do is we want to start off running high knees on the spot, keep those knees nice and high, and then when we change after 30 seconds, we're going to work some push-ups nice and deep, working all the way down, all the way back up. And we're going to switch it up every 30 seconds. Your turn to try it. For this set, we're going to combine some fast feet with some swimmer kicks. So what we're going to do is we're going to start off working the fast feet on the spot, try and keep the pace up as much as you can. And then we're going to drop down into that supine position with your head and shoulders lifted. And we're working some swimmer kicks or some scissor kicks, if you like. We're going to make sure that the knees are remaining nice and straight. And we're going to keep the pace up throughout this exercise. Your turn to try it. Starting this combination with some in and out squats. So you can see I'm jumping fairly lightly on my toes, feet together, and then jumping out into a squat. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change it up and go into some scissor hops from there. So it's very similar to a jumping jack, but rather than going side to side, you're going back and forth. And just making sure you're landing on both feet at the same time. And again, just keeping it nice and low impact on your knees. Your turn to try this. this exercise, we're going to combine working some high-paced squats with a traditional plank. So for the first 30 seconds, we're going to work those high-paced squats, feet nice and parallel, knees right over the top. They're not swinging in or out or pushing back and forth. And then we're going to drop down and work our traditional plank from the elbow. Your turn to try this one for yourself. Nice abs combination for this exercise, you guys. We're going to start off working some traditional abs crunches. Now you can see that I've got my hands behind my neck for support, but that just means that you've got to make sure you point your elbows right out and you look straight up so that you're not yanking at your neck. And then what we're going to do is we're going to change it up. We're going to turn around into that prone position and just work a nice traditional plank. So again, making sure that you're keeping a straight line from your ankle all the way to your shoulders, and there's no arching or dipping of the spine. Your turn to try this one. starting this cardio combination with some front and back hops. So just making sure you're jumping fairly lightly on your toes on this one. And then we're going to switch it up and work some fast feet. So make sure you pick up the speed on this one and fairly quick movement until we go back to the first exercise. Your turn to try it. For this set, we're going to combine Hindu push-ups with some plyometric squats. So we're going to start off hands and feet at shoulder width, and then we're going to work some nice deep Hindu push-ups. And then after 30 seconds, we're going to change it up. We're going to jump up and we're going to work some plyometric squats. So make sure you jump straight up. And as you land, we're going to keep working our way back down so that we're keeping the pressure off the knees. And any point of stopping this exercise should be at the bottom of the squat and nowhere else. for this set, we're going to start off working some mountain climbers in that prone position and making sure that the front foot doesn't touch the ground at all. Keep yourself nicely supported. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn into that supine position and work some abs tucks. Now, you want to make sure that your head and shoulder blades are lifted in order to give your spine maximum support. And then we're extending the legs right out until they're straight and then tucking them back all the way to your chest. Your turn to try this one. Starting this combination with some hanging abs tucks. Now, if you've got any restrictions as far as equipment or physical restrictions is concerned, you can always do these tucks lying on the floor instead of hanging. What we'll do to complement it is we're going to get into some jumping jacks straight after. So again, fairly light on your toes as far as jumping jacks are concerned, and just keep the pace up throughout the set. Your turn. Okay, a nice cardio combination for this one, guys. So we're going to start off in our fighting stance and we're going to work some double jabs and we're going to alternate between the left side and the right side. So work through this for about 30 seconds and then we're going to drop down and work some mountain climbers from there. When you're doing your mountain climbers, you're making sure that your front foot doesn't touch the floor. Try and maintain a straight line from your shoulder all the way to your ankle as you're doing it. Your turn to try it. We're going to work alternate lunges with rookie push-ups for this exercise. So we're going to start off working our alternate lunges, stepping forward, making sure they're nice lengthy lunges. Keep your feet at shoulder width. Make sure your toes are pointing forward the whole time. And then we're going to change it up, drop down, and just working those push-ups from your knees. Now, this is a nice easy variation of a push-up, so we're going to go nice and deep with it. Your turn to try it for yourself. Starting this exercise with some hanging obliques tucks. Now, if you've got any trouble doing the obliques tucks, or if there's any restriction as far as equipment or physical restriction is concerned, you can always just get down on the floor and work some basic crunches instead of this exercise. What we'll do to complement this is we're going to run on the spot with high knees. So making sure you're getting those knees nice and high, staying light on your toes, and keeping nice pace throughout this exercise. Your turn to try it. Starting this exercise with some rookie push-ups. So you can see I'm doing the push-ups from my knees, but I'm going quite deep, and I'm just making sure I'm maintaining that straight line from my shoulder all the way to my knee, so I've got my core active throughout these push-ups. And then what we're going to do is we're going to get up and get into some twist hops. So just hopping and twisting from side to side. Use your hips on this one. Fellas, there's really no way of making this exercise look masculine, so just do what you can to get through until we get back into the push-ups. Your turn to try this one. For this combination, we're going to combine some X crunches with some bicycle kicks. So working those X crunches first, what we want to do is we want to reach with our opposite hand to opposite knee and really try and get your palm all the way to your knee so that you're getting a good contraction of those abs. And then we're going to change it up and we're going to go into some bicycle kicks. So very important to keep your shoulder blades nice and high for this one. Keep your head up, extend your legs all the way out and retract them to your chest alternately. Your turn to try this one for yourself. Starting this exercise with some X crunches, so just making sure you're crunching up, and you can see I'm getting the palm of my hand to the opposite knee and just making sure that my lower back is staying grounded. So it's a crunch and not a sit up. To complement this exercise, we're going to run with high knees. So just running on the spot, making sure you're getting your knees nice and high and staying nice and light on your toes for this one. Your turn to try it. For this set, we're going to combine prone shoulder presses with some alternating lunges. So start off in that prone position. You've got to raise your hips right up so that you're taking a shoulder press position rather than a chest press or a push-up, if you like. And then after 30 seconds, when your shoulders have just about had enough, we're going to jump up and we're going to work some alternating lunges. So making sure those lunges are nice and long. Make sure your feet are at shoulder width and make sure your toes are pointing forward for this one. Your turn to try it. Starting with some high-pace squats for this exercise. So you can see that my feet are parallel and my knees are right on top of it, so they're not swinging in or out. And I'm just using my arms for a little bit of momentum and just getting deep into those squats and coming back up with a pretty good pace. And then what we're going to do is we're going to complement it by going into some side-to-side squats. So all it is motion from one side to the other, and you've got that squat action in the middle of it, and just making sure that you're maintaining your height for this exercise. So we don't want to bob up and down. Your turn to try this one. Well done for getting through your workout today, guys. Let's take a moment to stretch and cool our body back down now. Comment and let us know what you thought of today's workout, and remember to hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all the latest workouts.